We'll switch gears, talk a little weather. Cassie's in today, and boy, what a wild ride this morning.
It's 9:15. We've already had at least 3 tornadoes this morning.
Yeah, at
Cassie,
least
it's crazy.
3. Pretty wild morning. Lacey, Swope, Hannah Shoal, they were all over it. Of course, we had our storm trackers out, Val and Amy Castor, and they started yesterday afternoon. This particular storm was from Jeremy Carter, and he was in the actual tornado that was around Wayne, and he was yelling that he had gusts over 100 miles an hour, and they were blowing from one direction, and then he turned, and eventually they started blowing from the other direction. And you could also verify that with radar. He was right in the middle of that circulation a little after about 5 o'clock this morning. That is when that tornado hit around Wayne. We also had Tom Pastrano out, and he was monitoring, of course, what always happens around Norman, the flooding. We had so much rain that poured down during these storms, and we also had some stalled out cars, but obviously some cars driving through some of this flood water that they really shouldn't have. And sometimes it's also a little hard when we're talking about just how dark it is, and then you get these severe storms. They're not only dumping all this rain, but a couple of isolated tornadoes as well. So let's go ahead and go to Links 1, kind of show you the broader view of exactly what happened. Again, starting yesterday, we had some hail reports in the Panhandle in far northwest Oklahoma. Then we had that gust over 60 miles an hour around Butler. We had some flooding reports, but the tornado reports, the official one right now around Wayne, that's the one that Jeremy Carter was in. We also had the tornado report west of Winnett. And then the first tornado report that started a little after 4 o'clock this morning, and Lacey Swope issued the own News 9 tornado warning a little after 4 o'clock. That's when that first started happening. We could also possibly have had a tornado around the Lindsay area as well. So going back to yesterday, looking at some of this hail that started yesterday evening when David Payne and Andrew Adams were in, people were sending this in from the Panhandle and in far northwest Oklahoma. David Perry sent these in, golf ball size hail up there. Today's max wind gusts, of course, most of the wind took place in the west and the southwest, where of course we had that 61 mile an hour wind gust around Butler. So combined the wind, and we've also obviously had some isolated tornadoes popping up, lots and lots of power outages. The biggest one right now around Johnston County, where over 3,000 customers currently without power, but we've had 500 to 600 around Cleveland and McLean County, and then a couple of other spots where we've had over 100 customers. So just lots of people currently without power. Lots of rain. This is a good rain. We just don't want it all at once. But we've had around the Norman area and around Blanchard anywhere from 4 to 5.5 inches of rain. Oklahoma City not picking up nearly as much, but still a nice rain that hopefully we can put a nice dent in that drought. As far as current severe weather, we do not have any. We still have that tornado watch for southeast Oklahoma, and that goes just for another couple of hours. So just kind of looking at action live. So we still have some showers and a few thunderstorms, so still some lightning strikes, but nothing that is currently ominous by any means. Could have maybe a little bit of wind gust out of this, but everything's moving off to the north and east right now at about 40 miles an hour. And so right now, things are a lot quieter than what they were very early this morning. In fact, out to the west and to the north, we have lots of sun now peeking through the Star Chickasha camera up of our Pike Pass Skycam network. We're at 50 degrees. We got a southwest wind at 6 miles an hour. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s across the west, 50s and 60s in central and eastern Oklahoma. And the wind out ahead of that line of storms, again, it's now out of the southeast between about 15 to as much as around 30. The rest of us have more of a westerly wind between 5 to 15. Big dynamic storm system. And to the north of this low, blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings. It is a big time storm system affecting really a lot of the country today. And as we go through over the next several hours, the rain and storms will come to an end off to the east. And then as we get into tomorrow, there's still a chance of some light rain in southeast Oklahoma. And then the weather looks very quiet for quite some time. So from now through about early afternoon, there's still going to be just a very low chance of severe storms in the far eastern half of the state and a very low tornado threat as well. And again, these storms are going to end from west to east out in eastern Oklahoma. And then today, temperatures eventually climbing into the upper 50s with a very gusty southwest wind. Overnight tonight, it's going to get pretty cold. Temperatures drop into the 20s and 30s for most. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, chilly and windy. Highs in the mid 40s on Thursday. We're also going to be in the low to mid 40s. Here's the thing, though. Down the road, we are still tracking another storm that will bring in some much colder air. In fact, it looks like another storm system moving in, but this time we are talking snow, and that could begin as early as about midweek of next week. Guys, back to you.